DeAndre, welcome to Kansas City. Last time you played the Chiefs was in the AFC Championship game in 2019. I know your best game was in 2017 with 3 touchdowns. What's it like now playing with those quarterbacks to now you're going to be playing with Patrick Mahomes?
Always been a fan of Pat. Stayed in touch with him throughout his career. So, excited to go get started.
While you were in Tennessee, teammates with L'Jarius Sneed. Before you came here, what did he tell you? Did you all have conversations about what it's going to be before you here in Kansas City?
No, we didn't have many conversations. We was focused on where we were.
DeAndre, how do you just see your fit in the offense? I assume you played against these guys and you watch these guys enough to know the way they like to play, and you know yourself really well. How do you see that marrying?
Wherever I'm needed. That's on coaches to put me where I need to be, but wherever I'm needed.
DeAndre, what would you say about Patrick's game and how you watched that over the years, and what you do think of his capacity as a quarterback?
One of the best to do it. I was looking forward to going out there playing with him. Obviously, been a fan of his, so can't wait.
You said that you guys talked a couple years ago about what it would be like if you could come here and play.
Pardon me, who you say it first?
Chris Jones.
Okay.
He said in Miami, you guys talked a couple years ago, kind of like how awesome would that be? I was going to ask you if you thought about what it would be like to play with Patrick, and Andy Reid, and just kind of, what you thought about that.
Yeah, obviously throughout my career, been a big fan of what Andy has done, going against those guys in Houston. They gave us some tough battles, so I always, just admired him from afar. Chris Jones is one of my buddies off the field, so him and I, of course, talked about, the potential, if I ever got the chance being a free agent or getting traded.
DeAndre, you've been traded before.
Mm-hmm.
Can you walk us through just your initial reaction when you found out that the trade is going to happen? You are going to be a Chief, considering your move from Houston to Arizona.
Obviously, the trade before was a little different, different circumstances. So, I got to thank Rand and his staff for, trading me to a contender, first of all, because those guys, could have traded me anywhere. But, I got to tip my hat off for those guys before anything, and thank them a lot for that. So, coming here, when I got the news, obviously I was excited, but, ready to get to work.
Hey, Andre, what do you find out about this place the moment you step into the building, about just the winning culture here? And does it feel like that the moment you step in?
Oh, yeah.
Guys?
Oh, yeah. I think everything everybody does here, not just in this facility, but outside the facility, is detailed, and that's how you win championships.
DeAndre, what's the process of studying and trying? Andy mentioned potentially playing on Sunday. What's the process of studying and trying to get up to speed in a hurry?
I've been in the NFL for 12 years, so, I know football, so hopefully I can go out there and make some plays, and wherever I'm fitted, wherever I'm needed.
DeAndre, what you've done in your career, what does it mean to you to come into a building that knows how to win championships and the approach that it takes?
It means a lot. It takes your game to a different level. It takes your focus, your drive, knowing that you're playing for something. It takes your game to a different level. I haven't played meaningful football in a couple years since, we probably started 8-0 in Arizona. So, it takes your game to a different level.
DeAndre, I saw number 8 in there. Is that going to be your number? And so what's the significance?
Kobe Bryant, one of my favorite athletes of all time. So I knew if I ever got the chance to wear number 8, just like when I picked number 10, Messi was my favorite. Soccer player, underdog, felt like me at the time coming out of college, and Kobe, it's number 8 is a special number.
DeAndre, you've been, one of the best receivers since you walked into the league. What does your skill set add to this Chiefs offense, in your opinion?
I can do a lot of things. Obviously, you guys seen, but just trying to make plays. I'm not trying to give a PSA of what I can do or what I can't do. I play football, so it's going out there and making plays, man.
You mentioned that you've worked with a number of quarterbacks. In your experience, how long does it take to truly get on page with the new quarterback that's thrown to you?
Obviously, Pat has done this before with different receivers coming in. I've played with many quarterbacks, so I think we'll be all right.
Andrew, you mentioned a couple of times just as far as the importance of the team winning here and that being able to be in that situation. How important is it to you, or was it for you if you were going to make a move, that it's to a contender, and what's the importance of you if you got to play in a Super Bowl?
Very important. I think I've done a lot, all the accolades that I can accomplish as far as personal. So I think, just playing meaningful football in January is, what's left on the list.
Chris, you were quick to tweet about DeAndre's addition to the team. How are you feeling about it?
Feeling really good, with the acquisition of D-Hop. Me and him conversed about this like 2 years ago. We was in Miami just talking about what it'll look like, how successful I think he can be in this offense with Pat and the offensive-minded Coach Reed. And we finally got him here, so I'm excited about it.
What was that conversation like? Trying to, I guess, pitch DeAndre on the idea of Kansas City and on the Chiefs, and just how receptive was he back then, I guess, 2 years ago?
I mean, we both agreed that he'll be super successful with this offense. Just at the time, there was a lot of things going on, and unfortunately, we wasn't able to acquire him at the time. But how life works, it's a full circle, man. And unfortunately, with injuries, we needed a wide receiver, and full circle moment, man. We was able to get him.
Chris, just to be clear, you said Miami. Was that just like an off-season workouts? What specifically, where were you guys?
I think we was at an event in Miami, a fishing event, yeah, 2 years ago. And I was there. I was part of the fishing event. I think he was also, and then we was able to talk, have a chat about what it'll be like being in Kansas City, what is Kansas City like, and how successful he can be with us.
Can't remember who was the better fisher.
Who?
The better fisher.
Of course, come on, man. Listen, it's when you go about fishing in this league, I feel like I'm one of the top. I fish with Peter Miller. I fish with the legends of the sea. So, what can I say? Tomato, tomato.
There's not many of you guys over 30 here on this team, so do you guys kind of bond together, the older vets, and are you happy to have someone else in the 30-plus club?
Continue to remind me that I'm old. Thank you. No, I feel like age is just a number. It's more so of all of the ability, the mental aspect, and what we're able to bring to this team. You look at a guy like Travis Kelce, who is pushing 40, and who is still able to do it at a high level. And I think D-Hop is a guy that's still able to do it at a high level in the right offense. So I think he's going to be a great addition to this offense, who've been troubled by injury throughout the year. Hopefully he's able to play immediately. We can use his ability on the outside, inside, and definitely for him to win one-on-one matchups.
Chris, how do you think that Raiders game affected the team last year in terms of whether it brought you guys together and sort of set the tone for the rest?
It was definitely a wake-up call in December, close to Christmas game. And they came here and kicked our butt. No excuses about it. Brought out the Kermit the Frog thing. I completely understand that. The last time we played them, we got our butt kicked. They outplayed us on all phases of the ball. So this year we're aware of that. We can hold it in the back of our heads and see if we can have a different outcome this game.
Did you feel like, in the long run, that game, did you guys get some good in terms of the wake-up call and everything?
What they say, you learn a lot from a loss. So we was able to learn a lot, and you grow when you face adversity. So that was an adversity game for us mentally, and we was able to bounce back from it, learn a lot from it also.
Chris, George seemed to be pretty active in San Francisco. Just wondered what you thought of his performance in that game.
I love George's performance in that game. Not only was he active, he was flying around. He was not complaining. We finally got him a sack. But we got to continue to be consistent in that area, all phases of the game, especially George. I think he's somebody who can, if we get George going consistently, he can be very successful for this defense. But we just got to keep on him, keep at him, making sure you keep his head down and stand at it.
Couple more.
Well, trying to ingrain a new receiver to the team. Just what's that process like early on, and just your early conversations with DeAndre and how he's kind of meshing with the guys?
It's exciting. I think for everybody. You get a guy that's super experienced. He's been in this league a long time. He's had a lot of success. And so, you know, you look at both situations, and I feel like it's really a win-win type deal. But he came in this morning and ready to rock and roll, and everything it's a first time now for him. So he's getting in here the first time, trying to figure out where to sit in the meetings, first time to go in walkthroughs and figure out how we do walkthroughs, first time to go out and figure out what practice tempo is like. There's a lot of firsts. So as sometimes it can get to thinking it's just like plug and play, you know, there's a process to it. So we want to make sure we do that the right way, and Coach Reed's been great with that.
Man, obviously, he's been a good player over the years, but is there something he does specifically well that maybe can help you guys, you feel like?
I'd say, Adam, the biggest thing right now is his hands are phenomenal. He has really, really good hands. I think he's got some of the, you know, least amount of drops in the history of the NFL. But the experience that he has, which comes, I think, with that is trust. And so he's played in a lot of games. He understands, and he's seen a bunch of different defenses. That's valuable. Whether it's zone or man, he's a very good route runner. He understands leverages. And one of the things, just getting to kind of, you see it on tape, you see it in interviews, but then when he's here up close and live and in person, you see the confidence and the swag that he has. And I think that confidence can really penetrate, and you feel that with the other players. You got to go out and do it. So it's just that we're at the beginning stages, but he's really he does a lot of good things in zones too.
What do you feel like he adds that the offense was missing?
I don't think it's not necessarily that the offense was missing, but everything that I just said, the ability to have that experience, understanding in moments the route running and leverages of different coverages. There's a lot of guys that come in as rookies and they don't really see the back end. What they think is cover two is not. He knows it's cover two. So like timing with the quarterback. So we got to work through getting that now in practice with Pat. And then it's a slow process to get there, but we want to make that process be as fast as possible. We understand that.
And this is probably one of the biggest acquisitions receiver-wise that Pat has got. What are you hoping that players such as Xavier, McCollum, and others will pick up and learn from him?
Just the biggest thing is probably is going to show up on game day. I think once he gets in there and he starts seeing the connection of understanding the routes that we call, the concepts that we call, and then how the timing works with the guy in front of him, playing man, understanding zone and how to figure out different ways in zone to get open. And then with that is us also making sure that he understands our practice tempo, Monday through, or really Wednesday through Saturday. And then those guys bonding together in that room, I'm talking about the wide receivers, and growing together, and then building that core of confidence and the ability to play fast and make it work with Pat.
How much does your workload change over the next 4 days when it comes to one-on-one coaching you and Connor and so on and so forth, of just making sure that he's able on Sunday?
It's definitely different in a good way. There's more to it. You have to. Again, like I said, this is not something that just everybody always talks about. It's a different language. It is. That's common. But these guys that go to different teams, they understand that. They know that. The professional side of it is making sure that you put in the time outside of practice and outside of meetings to get there as fast as you can. So to your point, this morning, all day, the rest of today, on tomorrow, on Friday, and then all day Saturday, it's nonstop as much as you can, and that's where Coach Connor will do a great job, and we want to get him up to speed.
Matt, you mentioned his hands, and obviously he's got a big catch radius as well. Do you foresee taking advantage of that maybe in different ways than what your offense currently operates?
I feel like we will. He's always done that his whole career. I mean, the guy had 1,000 yards last year, and you put on the tape, not just this year, not just last year, but you look at some of the things that he does well. And, man, I shook his hand this morning for the first time, and I have pretty big hands, and he's like swallowed my hands. He's got massive hands. So there's a reason why he's, catching these footballs, and then he's a true pro. So we want to make sure that he comes in here, and it's a process, but it's on tape. So we want to make sure we merge it together.
Man, how much of Hopkins, getting ingratiated is, hey, this is what we've done with, similar receivers like Juju or Rashee Rice, or how much of it is, allowing him to sort of tell you guys what he feels most comfortable with, considering, how many games you have to get this right?
Yeah, there's a lot of volume of what he does well, so we have that. It's not like a rookie that comes out of college where the game's different. So we want to be able to balance taking what he does well, using his strengths, and implementing it into what we do offensively. But then also, too, he has to be able to adjust maybe a technique or something slightly to how he runs a specific route based off of our rules that we have. But that's the fun part, to be quite honest with you, is when you have somebody that comes in that's new. Every player that's, like, even with Juju, like learning what Juju did well when he got here 2 years ago. It didn't happen overnight, but by the time we got to the Super Bowl against the Eagles, we really felt comfortable knowing what he could do, and we want the same process here with him.
Vahe and then Adam.
Matt, obviously you guys haven't lost since that Raiders game last year. I wonder what you remember about that day and what you would say came out of it in terms of how it helped you guys reset, for lack of a better term.
Remember a lot, and it was one of those deals where we really just got beat across the board, and it's frustrating as a coach. You feel like you want to be able to be better for your guys and help out and do your part. I can remember the next week coming back and say, what can I do better to help these guys out? And at the same point in time, you almost look back and say, and you hear a lot of people say, you feel like maybe that happened for a reason because it woke us up and set us for the rest of the season. That said, every year is different. This is a physical football team that flies around, and they live on the personality of Coach Pierce. And I think for us, we understand and know that this is going to be a fight, and they're physical and they do a lot of good things well. But we division game too, right? That's massive. So for us, we remember a lot about it, but we don't want to make it too big of a moment. We think we have a good thing going, and we want to just stay within what we're doing.
Is there carryover from who you guys became at the end of last year to who you guys see yourselves as now, just identity-wise?
Probably a little bit from the coaching standpoint, and then also from player standpoint. Maybe again, every team's a little bit different, but for the most part, I feel like that one there, right there, that game on Christmas Day, that brought everybody together, and it could have some separate you. That one brought us together.
Matt, regarding Kareem Hunt, in what ways do you feel like he's made a difference in the running game part of it specifically?
Physicality, not losing yards, mentality of just, give me the ball. And you put that tape on and watch him get hit. I can't imagine what he feels like on a Monday. It cannot feel very good, but it's a sacrifice he does for this team. He's loving it. We're loving handing him the ball. The offensive line is blocking their tail off with the tight ends. It's a really good thing for the offense right now, and I love Kareem.
How much of Kareem Hunt from 2017 have you seen it? Because there were reporters who said he was off. You need 2 yards to get you 3, you need 4 yards to get you 3. Give me your thoughts on how he's transitioned back here.
I know he does what we want him to do, and I was here with him in 17, and he reminds me a lot of that same player, and so we love where he's at. He's physical, and usually when we ask him to get 3, he gets us 4, and when we ask him to get 4, he gets us 5.
Thanks, Coach.